Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Baseball Podcast. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and today it's time for another mock draft. That's right, the Welsh and I are here, mock drafting our rear ends off for you to get you prepared for all your drafts. And today it's another head-to-head roto category style 12-teamer. We're going to have corner infielders. We're going to have 4 outfielders. We're going to have 9 random pitchers. We'll see how that works as well. And to help us draft today is Joe Orrico, head of baseball. It's a very big title. And host of MLB Today over at Sports Ethos. You can follow him on the Twitter machine at Joe Orrico99. Joe, it's great to raise the quota of Joes here on the program. Thanks for joining us. How the hell are you?
You know, we're taking a page out of Welsh's book because, you know, he's on CBS. He's always with another Chris. You need the Chris squared. We got Joe squared today. So I'm glad to be here with you guys. You guys did my show recently. We had a great time. So I'm glad we can have some fun with the mock.
That's right. And we are going to have some fun with the mock. We've already chosen our draft spots and our team names. I'm picking from the 104 today, and my team name is MLB The VAR Show, based off of yesterday's pod, which was awesome, by the way. We're doing these ultimate guides now to infield. We got the outfield one coming next week, and also starting pitcher soon, too. So that's going to be a great way for you to kind of catch up on everything and get prepared for your drafts. Welsh, you are drafting from the bottom here at 111. And your team name is in homage to our producer, Bill.
Hey, Bill!
Who's helping us out tonight. Hey, Bill!
Hey, Bill! That's my team name. Our producer, Bill. Yeah, Bill's the best. Bill is like the voice of God for us. Like, Bill doesn't come on screen, but then we'll just like hear him and he'll talk. But so I feel safe. Like, as soon as I knew that we had Bill here, I feel like if something goes wrong in my life or on the draft, I suppose as well, I'll just go, hey, Bill! I'll get helped out here. So that's
Bill's a very comforting person too. He's got like a Chris Stapleton kind of beard going on. It's a good time.
I don't want to guarantee it, but I'm guaranteeing I'm going to win the projections on this because I have Bill in my corner.
Wow. That sounds like calling your shot there pretty much. That's pretty impressive. And Joe is team Underground Joe because he is drafting from the basement today, as you can see. He is at 107. So we're going to kick things off here. Before we do, don't forget, the Draft Wizard is open for business, fantasypros.com/draftwizard. So go run your mock drafts now. You can do like 3 mock drafts in 10 minutes. It's unbelievable. You can back out picks. You can do amazing things. And the best thing is, if you're a premium subscriber, you get access to a lot more features too. You'll always get the analysis at the end too, the breakdown, who liked your draft in the expert world, who didn't. Also, it's just a great way to continue to build up your stamina to get ready for all the drafts you got coming up there. So again, it's free, fantasypros.com/draftwizard. Of course, you can download the app as well, wherever you get all your apps from. But go ahead, get your mock draft on. It's fun. It's a good time. We're going to have some fun today. I'm going to start things off here, Joe, as we begin the draft and kick things off. Your strategy is what, real quick? Give me like the 10-second strategy for head-to-head Roto Cats.
Well, for me, it really doesn't really matter what, if it's head-to-head or if it's roto. I'm waiting on pitching a little bit if I can. I'm going to try and secure some of those more scarce positions early on, your third base, your catcher, and build my pitcher farther on pitching than I typically would. Usually I'd go for a pitcher in the first couple of rounds. But in my drafts this year, and you'll see today, not really something I'm trying to do.
All right, so kicking things off here, Shohei Ohtani goes off at 1, Aaron Judge at 2, Trey Turner at 2, and now 3, Now I've got a conundrum because I've got Acuna and I've got Julio and Jose, all my favorite guys.
Oh my.
This is a tough situation here. I don't know what to do. I thought at 4, I did not think I would see Ohtani go already there too. So this is fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with the outfield because it's so bad. So I'm going to take Ronald Acuna, 64%. I got the big, the strong emoji. I love the emojis too. The Draft Wizard gives me, again, all that good reinforcement, that positive reinforcement that I desperately need in my life. Julio Rodriguez at 105. I've been taking a lot of Julio. I'm decided to go a little Acuna this time. We'll see how it goes. Jose Ramirez at 6, just before Underground Joe. Joe, you're up next with the pick.
I'm definitely going to go with Kyle Tucker. I personally like him as my number 2 outfielder this year, so I am feeling like this is a pretty good bargain on him. I like him at least as much as Julio, and I'm going to slightly lean his way because a bit more of a track record, better team around him. I would have taken him over Julio here, should Julio have been on the board still. So Kyle Tucker is who I'm going to go with.
By the way, Welsh, yesterday I put a wager down plus 900 on Julio for AL MVP. If you were with me for the Justin Jefferson wager plus 1,400, if you're with me for Bryce Harper at 30-1 and Verlander, Cy Young 25-1, come join me, everybody. Julio,
Yeah, why
now.
are you not giving me the info beforehand?
I just did. This is
wow. I mean, you could have texted me. You could have sent me a text and be like, "Hey,
it was in the afternoon. You were busy. You said you were busy in the afternoon because you had to rush out after the show. I didn't want to bother you, so I'm telling you now. Juan Soto goes next at 108. Then Mookie Betts, Vlad, and then hey, Bill Welsh is up at 111.
Hey, Bill, you know why the projections are going to like me too? For any of you guys drafting, my newest ranks are uploaded on FantasyPros as far as the ECR goes and expert consensus rank. So that's going to help me a little bit. I really wanted Mookie Betts really bad. Jordan Alvarez is a really good value. He's qualifying an outfielder here. So that's that. I'm hoping that Freddie Freeman does not, of course, come back to me. So that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but Alvarez is a nice selection at 1. That's a nice consolation prize. So you took Alvarez, then at the turn at 12, Freeman and Tatis. That's got to sting. I'm sure that was probably where you were going to go with one of those two picks. So now you got to get creative. Witt, Machado, Devers, Austin Riley, and only Austin Riley are also all on the board still. So where do you go next?
Yeah, we're going to go with Bobby Witt. It is tempting with, like Trout is out there. The system wants me. Actually, it says the experts 43% say that's where I should go. But I'm going to go with position scarcity. I get to lock up all the stolen bases. Head to head, I'm also still very comfortable. Bobby Witt takes maybe a little bit of a kick in points leagues. Not here, though. So I'm going to start with Jordan Alvarez and Bobby Witt. There's some good upside and floor, and we are off to a very nice start.
And Mike Trout continues to fall in the draft because after Bobby Witt goes to Welsh at 203, Corbin Burns 204, Garrett Cole 205, Manny Machado, Joe 206. You got Trout, Bichette, Devers, Alonso all on the board. Where are you going?
I was going to go Machado, and the computer sniped me here. So my initial thought is to go with another third baseman, but I might be a little bit early for your Devers and Rileys. But they're not going to be here the next time I come up on the board. I'm pretty sure of that. You know what? I'm going to go with Austin Riley. I like Austin Riley, even compared to Devers. I think they're very close, but I'll take the team. I'll take the Braves over the Red Sox there.
I love that all three of us have the same look too, right? Like Joe, me, Welsh, all have the same look. It's like, yeah, we want to wait on pitching. We want to hit outfield and third base. Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath, this draft. All right, so Bo Bichette goes next to 207. Mike Trout almost made it to me.
Almost. That's why I said I went, Joe, do you see that? You almost had Trout.
That's I would have pulled the trigger on the Trout Acuna. I mean, you know me. You first or last. That's for me. Look, Rafael Devers out there, the last kind of big money third baseman on the board. I'm a big Devers guy. Shortstop best on the board is Lindor. Big fan of him as well. Alonso still out there too. Top starting pitcher is Sandy Alcantara. Now, as much as I adore Sandy, I will take the third baseman. And of course, I'm getting good positive vibes here as well from the draft wizard to do that after I made my selection. Then Pete Alonso went at 210, 211, Edwin Diaz, 212, Paul Goldschmidt at the turn to 301, Sandy Alcantara, Emmanuel Clase with a C, an L, an A, an S, and an E. Simeon goes at 303, and then 304, I am up next. I am not taking Jacob deGrom, draft wizard. You know me. There's no way I'm doing this. No, draft wizard. I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing it. I will take a guy that I talked about yesterday, though, who I think is grossly undervalued, underrated, gives you everything, elite production across the board. I'm going to go ahead and take Lindor here in the infield. So I'm going to go ahead, got my one big outfielder. I got the two infielders. Gives me some stolen bases. I like him. He plays 150 games every year at least. You're getting with Lindor, and it's a good lineup. Real Muto goes to 305. Way too early for a catcher in a single catcher league, in my opinion. I don't care how good Real Muto is. 306, Michael Harris. He was under consideration too. I want to see a little bit bigger track record. Joe Orrico, 307, 37 seconds on the clock. Who are you taking?
Oh, man. I want to go closer because they're going off the board pretty quickly here. Yeah. But maybe I don't need to go with the closer just yet. I think I'm going to go and create a little mini Houston stack here. I'm going to go Jose Altuve, take care of another weaker position in second base.
Very good. Inside out here. Just like the very emotional film that I can't watch because when Bing Bong dies, it makes me very upset. All right. Well, cheers. It's very upsetting.
Just cutting onions. Cutting onions.
I can't even enjoy that movie anymore. All right. Ozzy Albies goes right after Altuve at 308. Then Spencer Strider at 309. That was another guy I was strongly considering, but we're all in this game of chicken at pitcher here, the three of us. We'll see how it works out. Max Scherzer, 310. So the bots don't care. They're taking pitchers. Welsh, is this where you take a pitcher, or are you going offense again?
Well, I know how you feel, and I know how I feel. And this is 100% Jacob deGrom. I don't care what you say. This is a good spot for deGrom. The thing
enjoy
I'm
all 10 starts he makes. It's going to be awesome.
Enjoy all 25 of them. I'm going to go see him tomorrow. So then it went Arenado and C. So the other pitcher I want is there. There's a couple other position spots. The closers are there. This actually is a really difficult situation because the top tier of the second baseman went. Jazz is the last guy. I would like to have him. Outfield, there's a couple decent guys and closers as well. And there is a shortstop that's calling my name. Oh, decisions. I kind of want to have, with Jacob deGrom, I'm taking on a little bit more risk. I really like Aaron Nola, but Shane McClanahan is my guy. I'm going to go with McClanahan. I'm going to take McClanahan and deGrom there to get my first two closers, kind of on like a wheel spot here.
All right, there you have it. So McClanahan goes, again, Arenado and Cease at the turn before McClanahan, then Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, all the Philly starters off the board. Wrong order, too. Nola should always go before Wheeler. That's crazy.
I agree with
Wheeler. 405, Luis Robert goes. I was hoping he might make it back to me, but that was probably a pipe dream. All right, Joe, you're up at the 406. What do you got?
I'm going to take my first starting pitcher. I think he's severely undervalued. Carlos Rodon. I don't know how he's still here at this point, but we're going with Carlos Rodon.
Wow, Rodon over Verlander and Woodruff. That's a big move, Joe.
Yeah. That's right. He did it. No fear. No fear there for Carlos.
For sure
Rodon.
Over Verlander for me. Woodruff is close, but give me Rodon here for sure.
Yeah, Woodruff and Rodon are very close to me. I like Rodon in Yankee Stadium, too. That's going to be a good situation for him pitching for the Yankees. Hader goes at 408. That puts me up there for 409. My queue right now, it's a lot of good athletes on there. I'm going to roll the dice one more time on the pitching market, which really I'm fully aware this could haunt me for quite some time. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and take another outfielder, Randy Arozarena, who I don't think should be on the board still. So I'm going to go ahead and take some more power, some more speed, that combination. I'll figure out closer eventually. Oh, Dalton Varsho, my namesake here for the team, goes right after. Oh, Verlander, who was the pitcher I was considering taking, goes at 411, 412, Kyle Schwarber. Then Cedric Mullins, Matt Olson, Jazz Chisholm. Ooh, I thought I could get away with that one. I know. I'm going to go ahead and take a guy that I know Welsh doesn't like, and even more so now, Shane Bieber. So I've got the guy that you don't like, and you've got the guy that I don't like. Perfect way to start out this draft. Julio Urias at 505, O'Neal Cruz at 506, Joe 507. What do you have?
I am going to take my first relief pitcher here, and it'll be a bit of a homer take. I don't know if you guys know who are listening. I'm from Toronto, and I don't think I'm reaching too much here, but I'm going to go with my guy, Jordan Romano.
Great pick. No, it's a great pick. I would have 100%. God dang it. The robot. I hate the robots. The robots stole Corey Seager on me. It's all I wanted. When you said you were taking a closer, I got all excited because I'm like, I might get Corey Seager. And the robots did it again right after Joe took Romano, and then Adolis and Alex Bregman. God, Pisapia.
Yeah, so Seager, then Adolis and Bregman. So you're up for 511. Seager is a guy we highlighted yesterday on the show too, in that infield deep dive. We talked about him in previous shows too, without the shift. A lot of good positive feels out there. Frank Stamford and I were talking about that yesterday. All right, we've stalled enough. You got 20 seconds, Welsh. What are you doing?
All right, I think I'm gonna tap this closing market, and I'm gonna get a couple lockdown guys. I'm gonna get Devin Williams, and then coming back because Joe took Romano. I want to make sure I get some guys. I think I might just play. This is like a, I don't know, typical-ish wheel type of strategy of double tap pitch. I double tapped hitting, double tap pitching, double tap closers. I got to tell you, there's a bunch of fun guys on the books here, but I just don't know if I want to pull the trigger on any of them. Oh man! All right, I think we're going to do that. We're going to stick to the strategy. We're going to go with Ryan Presley, and Devin Williams. So I got my two closers, and I got some plans coming back if you guys don't ruin it.
Closer schmoser. I want talent. I'm drafting guys that I know can play every day. I'll figure out closer later. On the carousel, I'll jump on. Starling Marte, 512. Remember, the draft is just the beginning, okay? You got a whole 162 to go. The draft, go get the best talent you can. If a closer market gets away from you, you'll figure it out later. Aloy Jimenez at 601 and Presley to, hey, Bill. Kevin Gossman at 603. Will Smith at 604, and then 605, Alek Manoah, who I wanted to take him. Joe, you're up next at 606. What's on the board for you?
The next two guys I had on the board were Gosman and Will Smith. I think I'm going to pivot to Luis Castillo. I think it's pretty negligible, the difference with him and Gosman there. So I think he'll be my guy. Even though he burned me in 2021 and I said I was never going to do it again, I did it again this year. I'm going to do it again in 2023.
Oh, I love it. Even though he burned me multiple times, still going to do it anyway. I'm very happy because the guy that I wanted is back on the board. 607, by the way, after Castillo, Bryce Harper. 607, that team has clearly already had like 4 or 5 beers before the draft because you don't do this. He's not playing to July, everybody. Oh my God. This is where the bots have gone off here a little bit. I've seen this in drafts too. People just want to take Bryce Harper. It's crazy. Max Fried at 608. I'm up next. This is easy. Lock it in. You Darvish. That's what I was hoping made it back to me. He did. And now I have my pick of the litter too from Christian Javier, Joe Musgrove, and Tyler Glasnow. So I'm going to go ahead and take my boy, Christian Javier, because I can. So there you go. There is my pitching staff. I am no hesitation, zero hesitation there. After I took Darvish, just to recap, Framber Valdez, George Springer, Tommy Edman close out the 6th round. In the 7th round, Xander Bogaerts, Gunnar Henderson, Zach Gallen, then Javier to me, Rutschman at 705, Hendricks at 706, Underground Joe at 707.
I have a couple of guys that I'm considering here. Man, this is when it gets really tricky, especially when you're looking at 15-team drafts and then you go and look at a 12-teamer. It does change your whole view of the board. I think I do want to start looking at catcher, though. Although maybe I'll wait a little bit on catcher. I shouldn't be discussing my strategy out in the open with you folks.
Nah,
here.
Who else do you want? Yeah.
Who else do you want, Joe? Let me mark this down. No, you're discussing it for the benefit of the people. We're the people.
Yeah, the benefit of the people.
Who
we drafted, Joe?
I'm a man of the people, and you know what? I'm going to take Salvador Perez, even though I'm not fully sold on the pick. The clock was winding down, and I panicked, and I took Sal Perez. I'll be honest.
The panic pick, and obviously Welsh is not happy. Oscar Hernandez at 708, Corbin Carroll at 709 does not make it to Welsh. 710, Dansby Swanson. Welsh, how are you feeling after Corbin Carroll?
I'm crying. I have tears in my eyes. I'm so upset. I was like, I'm going to get Corbin Carroll here, I figured and I will rule the world.
All right. Well, you got to pivot now. You got 30 seconds.
And they took Teoscar?
Yeah, all your guys. This must be the Welsh bot we're drafting against today.
The worst here. This is the Welsh bot. I shouldn't have updated my ranks over at FantasyPros.
See what happens. You update your ranks. All of a sudden, the bots go against you. They turn on you.
So stupid. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. We're going to do this.
10 seconds.
I know. We're going to go with Jose Abreu.
Okay.
We're going to get a first baseman in there. He seems to be going higher and higher. Of course, Joe Musgrove goes. Joe Musgrove and Robbie Ray went right in between there. Joe Musgrove was 100% my pick. After that,
I'm surprised you didn't take Musgrove there. I thought that's where I almost took Musgrove. If Javier wasn't there, I would have taken Musgrove where I was. But you know me, I got to take my boy.
If I was being really, really smart about it, I should have, because if Abreu went, I could have just pivoted to Vinny Pasquantino. Obviously, I'm not like the biggest on Vinny Pasquantino, but still. All
right, 30 seconds for the next pick at 8:02.
Yeah. Hold your horses here, buddy.
I'll hold my horses.
This is pissing me off.
Joe Orrico doesn't know what he signed up for today with us.
We're going to go with Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds, good floor player. I have actually a lot of floor in Alvarez and Abreu. Brian Reynolds fills that out. Not sexy. I know everybody was expecting Byron Buxton on there. Hilarious, by the way, that Byron Buxton's picture just says injured on FantasyPros on the Draft Wizard. That is hilarious.
Well,
I'm not even joking.
Tim Anderson at 803. I like the Reynolds selection there. De La Cruz over 804. Wander Franco is a value at 805. All right, Underground Joe 806. Who is next for your roster?
Can I just say that Ellie De La Cruz at pick 88 is just bonkers. I think that's crazy.
That robot's freaking out.
That's the robot freaking out. I'm going to go get my second closer. I think we've let him slip a little bit farther than he should. Raisel Iglesias. I don't know how he got
here. Yeah, I'm not happy. Get out of the show. That's it. You're never coming back. Iglesias was the top of my board. That was where I was going to go next. Glass now also off the board. That was the next selection. So my queue just got emptied real fast. Helsley goes at 808. Now, all right. It's time to pivot. All right. So now we're all getting to the salty part of the draft, which is good. I like this. So right now the Draft Wizard is telling me, actually, you know what? One of my favorite guys still on the board, too. It's just whether or not I want to go for some more stolen bases here or if I want to go for a little more power. This is very tight here.
Go for some power and then do it again.
Yeah, you think so? I'm going to go for steals. They're harder to find. Andres Jimenez
I knew it.
is next on the board here. Well, I'm looking at my team, so I'm just going to dominate there since I can't dominate in saves. Batista at 8-10, then Kenley Jansen 8-11, Tristan McKenzie at 8-12, then Kyle Wright, Camilo Duvall, Vinny Pasquantino at 9-03. Back to me. I can continue to be a jerk and just take the other guy that was out there too that I was looking at power because I do have a middle. I'm saying I got a middle infield spot too, so I've got Lindor, Jimenez, Devers in the infield. Why not take Willie Adams too? And I'm just going to go super heavy in the infield there. Got the thumbs up.
I want to curse right now. You're making me mad. Like I want that one. You have rascal.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we'll do the after dark version of this show later on stages. 9:05 Byron Buxton. Oh, the OG. 9:06 Logan Webb. Joe, 9:07. You're up next.
I am going to go with Rhys Hoskins. Get myself a nice 3+ categories, 30 homers, 80 runs, 80 ribbies. I'll take Rhys Hoskins here. I can't believe I didn't have a first baseman yet. I thought I did, but there you have it.
I don't think I have a first baseman yet, but there's one I want. But now I'm pretty sure he's not going to be there when he makes it back to me because Welsh was my friend, which means he's spiteful.
Yeah, all right, maybe I should just take him. Maybe I should just take Nate Lowe right now.
Maybe you should. He knows the guy. Rhys Hoskins goes to Joe Orrico, and then Clayton Kershaw 908, Wilson Contreras at 909, Stephen Lequan at 910. All right, Welsh, you're up.
All right, so I am going to, I don't know why they put Bobby Witt at there. I'm going to go with Carlos Correa, past 100, get my shortstop because Bobby Witt is my third baseman. They took Trevor Story, Logan Gilbert. I am tempted just to break Joe's heart a little bit, but I'm not going to. I am torn between a couple guys. I went early pitching. One thing I don't like to do, and I think this happens when you go early pitching, sometimes you try to compensate on the hitting side, and then you forget the dominance that you had on pitching. So I'm really battling that, and I think I'm going to jump on it right now. I'm going to make sure I get one of my guys, and I've talked about it. One of my guys is George Kirby this year. I'm going to get George Kirby as my SP3.
I'm a little surprised at the Correa pick, but I understand why. Logan Gilbert, by the way, went right before Kirby, but you wanted Kirby over Gilbert, I assume, correct?
Yeah, I have Kirby over Gilbert, but to your shortstop thing, the shortstops are going. Like the tier is
you're
gone. Right. Like I wanted Adames, you took him. I wanted Wander Franco earlier. I passed.
I drained the pool, as they say. Nestor Cortez at 10:03, then Luis Severino at 10:04, Churio at 10:05. Underground Joe is up at 10:06.
I'm going to take care of shortstop, and I'm going to add another Houston Astro into the mix. Jerry Pena, I think he can do exactly what he did last year. Give me that 20 homer, 12 steal potential there.
There you have it. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take my first baseman because he's still on the board. Being with you, girl, is like being low. And he is now on my team, and I got not one, not two, but 3 claps. So you know what that means, Welsh. It was a good pick. That's how we always do that here on the show now. From now on, we're doing.
I think on the internet, I think that's usually a bad thing. It's like, don't take Nate. Yeah,
you screwed up. That's what that means, typically speaking. But we're going to change that. We're going to make it positive. Bednar goes next, then Yelich, Vaughn, my guy at 10-12, Lucas Giolito, Hunter Green, Alejandro Kirk start off the 11th round. Now we're at 11:04. I desperately do need a closer here, so I'm going to go ahead and take Clay Holmes and plug him in there, and I've got one at least, hopefully. Luis Ariz goes next. MJ Melendez, who I was very down on yesterday. I gave us a lot of dissertation on that.
11:06.
I was rude. I was mean. I'm a mean person, typically, I guess. 11:07, Underground Joe, you're on the clock.
Another guy I think we maybe let slip a little bit farther than he should is Blake Snell. He ended very well last season. I know he's a bit of a wild card, but I do like this price on him. I'll take Snell here. You're not a fan, Welsh?
No, that's what I wanted.
Welsh is not happy with this draft. I can tell you, he's not happy here. Come on, man. I want to play for Welsh, man. Why didn't you put me on that team? Dang, man.
Get my guy. Trying to get my guy.
Man. 11:08, Chris Bassett, then Anthony Santander at 11:09, Volpe at 11:10. Look at that reach, 11:10. 11:11, make a wish, Welsh.
All right. I am going to hopefully double tap this. I'm going to clear out my outfield. Seiya Suzuki, someone I really like. ADP of 115 on Fantasy Pros right now. I love the power speed combo. He'll be my third outfielder, and I'm going to pair him, as long as the computer doesn't do it. They did not, with Jake McCarthy, because I'm a little bit low on stolen bases. So give me some stolen bases. My outfield is locked in. By the way, Joe, Bogman and I were talking about this. if I have what's my Mount Rushmore of people I take photos with in spring training? And he said Blake Snell needs to be back on it, 2.0. We need another new picture. If we do I think Vinny Pasquantino is probably 1. Blake Snell is 2. So we need 2 more on the Mount Rushmore of who I get a picture with in spring training.
Julio's got to be one of them, right?
Well,
Julio's down there.
Last year too. Do we just do all the same guys again? Remember who?
I don't know.
Julio,
I mean, it's kind of fun that it's like the school picture thing where like every year you see them grow and change and you can put it up in your house. It's kind of fun.
It'll be more about how I've changed, how fatter I've got. So.
So after Suzuki, then Peralta changes out the 11th into the 12th round. CJ Crum, then Welsh took McCarthy. Stanton goes at 12:03. Gleyber Torres at 12:04. Jake Cronenworth at 12:05. Joe Orrico, 10 seconds, 12:06. Who'd you take?
I am going with Chris Bryant. I think, again, I mean, hell, it's my own opinion, but I do think he's undervalued here. We didn't see him as much as we should have on the field last year. He was injured a lot, no power. But give me a full year at Coors with Chris Bryant. I kind of waited a little bit too long on outfield, probably. He's only my second outfielder, but we'll start to correct that.
Outfield is rough. There's no doubt about this. All right, looking around here from the pitching market too. There's a couple guys out here that I like. I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice here with Nick Lodolo and see how that goes. So Lodolo's my guy. And then we have Ahmed Rosario, Willem Contreras going next, Sean Murphy at 12:12, Gonsolin at 13:01. Then 13:02, Taylor Ward, Max Muncy, all the guys that I don't like. That's perfect because there's another closer I do like on the board too, who is going to be the closer. It's Munoz. So there you go. Let's go. I mean, I know the bots will probably not project me well, but I still like that pick there. Josh Bell at 13:05, Barlow at 13:06. Underground Joe is back at 13:07. He's been playing the Stone Pony for the next 3 weekends. Yeah, it's a real place in Jersey, in Asbury Park. That's where Bruce used to play.
Oh,
go ahead.
You guys are on first name terms. Like, it's me and my buddy Bruce. Yeah. No big deal.
1, 2, 3, 4. Make a pick.
I think I'm going to go with another outfielder. I'm going to bank on the Angels being healthy this year, and I'm going to take Hunter Renfroe. He can be healthy all he wants. It's just a matter of the other guys being healthy to add to those counting stats. So, optimistic pick there with Hunter Renfroe.
I like that. I like that phrase. He can be healthy all he wants. It's a great phrase.
Just from the other guys.
Yeah. Jorge Polanco, 13:08. Yoshida at 13:09. Ryan Mountcastle at 13:10. All right, Welsh, you're here at 13:11.
Well, I got sniped again. The 2 top guys on my queue were Jorge Polanco and Mountcastle. That did not work out for me. I'm looking at 2 players, and I think I'm going to kind of try to deplete that first base market, get another corner infielder. I'm going to go with power, and I'm going to go with Rowdy Tellez for my corner spot. Nice. And then I want to snag another pitcher, and I'm a little bit torn here. I'm going to go with my guy, Charlie Morton. You're a little bit older. I'm reaching a tiny bit on ADP. It's not going to be a reach. It's like 8 spots, but I'm going to get my 4th SP in Charlie Morton. An oldie but goodie. He's a fine wine. He ages well.
He does indeed. I saw Shohei Ohtani is getting a New Balance commercial. I saw Francisco Lindor. If anybody should be having a New Balance commercial, it should be Charlie Morton. I mean, that's the footwear 40-year-old.
Morton. Yeah,
these it should be all the 40-year-old guys getting New Balance commercials. I don't understand that at all. All right, Luzardo goes at the turn with Joe Ryan, who I was hoping to make it back to me. He did not. Welsh took Morton at 14:12, then Duran at 14:03, Suarez at 14:04, Rizzo at 14:05, 14:06, Underground Joe.
It's another tricky one. A couple of guys I've wanted have gone off the board in the last couple of picks here. I think I'm going to have to keep going outfield, and I think I'm going to go with Brandon Nimmo. I think I'm going to, 3 straight outfielders, but I like what I've done there. A little bit of a balance across the categories, not a crazy amount of speed, but we'll take our outfield as constructed. I like it.
I was looking very long and hard at that gentleman there, Brandon Nimmo, making it to my roster. He did not. So that's a little sad. I'm going to go ahead and take a pitcher who I think change of scenery is nice for this guy. Getting into a better team, getting out of Miami. Let's go with Pablo Lopez. I need some more starting pitching here. Got to take him off there. Got a value pick and a thumbs up. I have gotten no slant eye weird emojis yet. It kind of looks at me with the side eye a little bit. We're like, I don't think you should have done that. Haven't gotten that yet. We'll see. There's plenty of time. Jeff McNeil, Daniel Bard, Nico Horner close out the 14th round. Then Ty France, who I was hoping made it back to me. He did not at 15:01. Alexis Diaz at 15:02. Garcia at 15:03. So back to me now. I know one of Welsh's guys is out there, but I don't want to do that to him because that's just mean at this point. If I do that, I can already feel
If you do it, hey, Bill!
Hey, Bill, we're starting this over. We're not doing the draft anymore.
Bill!
All right. You know what? I am a little light here in the corner spot here, and I'm actually going to take a guy that Welsh, you sold me on yesterday as a sleeper, and Jose Miranda is going to go in and put that corner infield spot. I left you your pitcher, though, just so you know. I was being nice. See if you take him here. From Tampa, 1505, Del Marte. Sorry, oops. 1506. Lawler goes. Now it's up to you. 1507, Joe Orrico.
I'm going to go and get one of my corner infield, well, my only corner infield slot. I'm going to take Matt Chapman here.
There you go. Matt Chapman is off the board officially. A few other names off the board. Brady Singer, nice value there. Dustin May at 1509. Ian Happ, another solid value in the 15th round, like Ian Happ. 1511, Welsh. The floor is yours.
Will, I will say that Brandon Lau is kind of falling, and this is putting me in a big predicament because my guy, everybody knows, is Jeffrey Springs, and I have to have him. But Chris Sale is also on the board here, and I'm kind of tempted to double tap Sale and Springs, but that is going to leave Brandon Lau off the board for me. And you know what? I really don't have a second baseman. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to take Lau as one.
It's a good pick there, I think. I think Lau in there is a good pick.
And the computer
Rasmussen goes next at 1512, and then it's 1601, Alec Boehm.
The computer didn't give me the benefit of the doubt and maybe take Sale off the board. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what good people you are. I'm going to take Chris Sale. And I'm going to see if Jeffrey Springs falls. We're going to see. If you guys take him, hopefully not. Or if oh, crap, he's the top pitcher on the board. He's not left.
No, I was going to say, no, that ain't happening. He ain't making it all the way back. I'm shocked that you took Sale over him, especially after...
Well, I just wanted to see. I kind of wanted to see what the system was.
That's what the Draft Wizard is for. It's for seeing. Magical things happen with the Draft Wizard. Lance McCullers at 1603, Estrada at 1604, Jordan Montgomery at 1605, Joe Orrico, 1606.
I'm going to go Jeffrey Springs, even though I'm not 100% sold. I like the price. I'm sorry, Chris. I like the price. I'm going to take another pitcher here.
What a monster. What a monster this guy is.
Monster indeed. All right. So after Springs, Merle goes. Merle Kelly, fan of the show. Luis Garcia at 1608. I'm on the clock at 1609. Now, I've got some thinking to do here. Roster-wise, I'm still missing a catcher. I could still use some more outfield, but I don't necessarily love the outfielders that are out there. One of the guys that's out there is a guy that I lambasted yesterday, and I don't know how far he has to fall for him to be a value. I told you he was kind of a bust potentially. So am I going to put my foot in my mouth? I think the answer is probably yes here. I think I do have to take Mitch Haniger because I need somebody here and hope for the best. And I got the 3 claps again. Joe, you're a hypocrite. Why'd you do that? That's basically what it gave me here. All right, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is as well for the next guy here because I really like this player going into last season. He had a couple wacky injuries. They weren't even like pitching related injuries, but John Gray, I think, there's no pressure on him in this rotation with DeGrom there now too. I like what Texas is putting together here. I think they're the 3rd best team in this division right now, period. Sorry, Angels. I just do. So give me John Gray off the board. He is the top pitcher according to the bots. I agree. Javier Baez gone. Vaughn Grissom gone at 1706. Joe, you're up at 1707.
I wanted to go Tyler Stevenson and fill in my utility slot with a second catcher there. I think he fell pretty far in this draft, 16th round. I think that's crazy value, but I missed him. I'm going to take a look at pitching. Oh, man. The other thing, too, is I've been doing 4-hour pick clocks. So 1 minute pick clocks definitely changed the game here a little bit for you. I'll go with Grayson Rodriguez. I think he's going to be there to start the season, even if he doesn't pitch a whole season. Maybe a little bit of a reach, but I think the draft technology likes it, so we'll call it a win.
That's right. We'll call it a win. Miles Mikolas at 1708. Then you have Yandy Diaz, 1709. Phillips at 1710. Welsh, what looks good at 1711?
Well, I can tell you the player that I have to have on every single team is looking mighty fine. I'm going to take him, even though I have 4 outfielders. Every team needs a Lars Nootbaar. So that is a absolute no-brainer that I can throw on my util spot and get a 5th outfielder in this 4 outfield team. I've got 2 pitching spots and a middle infield spot open. And my Q, I'm kind of, when I'm looking at my roster here, I still don't want to ignore speed. I have almost no speed on the infield outside of Witt. My outfield is a lot of other guys like that that when I'm looking at my queue is a little bit of a homer pick. I'm going to go with Josh Rojas that I can throw in the middle infield spot. And my second base is kind of weak right now because I have Josh Lau.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure I got that a little bit covered. So I went with Josh Rojas for some stolen bases and a little bit of second base coverage. Now I need to focus on pitching.
All right. So after that, Cal Raleigh goes at 1803. Kodai Senga at 1804. That could be a steal in the 18th
That's a great
round.
pick.
That's too far. 1805, Travis d'Arnaud. Joe, you are up on the clock.
I think I have saves pretty secured, but this is head to head and week to week. You don't really know exactly what you're going to get. So I'm going to take a third closer here. We're kind of at the end of the closer market here, but Jose Leclerc is still sitting there. A little bit of security behind my Romano and Iglesias.
I don't want any more security behind you, Romano. I don't want that at all. Walker Buehler at 1807. Holiday at 1808. What does this person think? It's a dynasty draft here?
First year player draft.
100%. What's happening? Jorge Lopez goes up next for me. I'm going to take the last closer who's kind of on the board here. And, the Orioles were better than people realize. They gave me a reach alert. I don't care because I need it. Okay. I'm low in that spot there a little bit. So after that happens, let's see. Sandoval, Riley Green, Gonzalez go to close out the 18th round. Jonathan India, Joey Meneses. I was going to take him. 1903, Jack Flaherty. All right. Jack Flaherty's an interesting case, too. I wonder what we're going to get out of him. All right. Let's take a look here. Utility spot. Do we buy the season of Brandon Drury? That is the question here. I think it's a good one to ask ourselves. I'll be asking it all season with this team because I'm going to go ahead and draft him and see if indeed we get another good year out of Drury. Ryan McMahon goes next at 1905, then Montas at 1906, so I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole this year. 1907, Joe, you are up on the clock.
I'm just asking myself, am I going to be the one to do this? And I think I am.
The answer's already yes. I don't even know what the question is.
The question is Mondesi, and the answer is yes. And at this point, I think I've been pretty safe with my picks. There's not too much injury risk, I don't think. I'll take Mondesi there, put him in the middle infield slot, and hope for the best.
All right. So Mondesi it is. Trevor Bauer goes at 1908. So this is clearly the throwing it all up there and seeing what sticks kind of around here at 1909. Yeah, Schreiber at 1909, Gene Segura at 1910, and Welsh, you're up at 1911.
All right. There's a couple things I'm thinking about. I did guarantee that I was going to win this projection game, so I do have to think about that in this process. It's a very important factor here, guys.
You did. You made guarantees.
I did make some guarantees.
Maverick, you're writing checks your draft can cash here or what?
No, we got this. We're just gonna make some picks here. All right, number one of my also favorite late pitchers. I'm gonna take Andrew Heaney, who was also the top lift at 227. And this is a young guy that is slipping. ADP is not going to like it, but I don't care. Miguel Vargas is going on my team. They'll call it a reach probably, which they did. Miguel Vargas is inside my top 200 and just I don't think enough people have updated their ranks on where he should go as the starting second baseman for the Dodgers.
That is pretty fair. All right, let's continue on here with the draft. So Myers went after Heaney, then Rogers. Vargas goes to Welsh. Bellinger, Edward Cabrera from the Marlins at 2004, then 2005, Jose Barrios, 2006, Joe Orrico.
I got sniped a couple times. I wanted Bellinger, and I was also thinking Barrios, potential for a bounce back. I'll go with another guy who could bounce back this year, and I think he will in a new location. Andrew Benintendi. You're getting not 5 category production, but low end 5 category production here out of my utility slot, close to pick 250. So give me Benintendi.
All right, there you have it. I'm going to take some pitching depth here and go ahead and take Alex Cobb with some help with the ERA a little bit. So go ahead and take him off the board. He's gone now in between the Joes. Here's who went after Benintendi. I got a steal. I got another. Lots of clapping going on here. Lots of clapping. Danny Jansen went after Benintendi, then Melanson. Cobb to me, Bobby Miller, Detmers, DJ LeMahieu, Tyler Mahle, Josh Young at 2102 is a steal there. Shane Baz, and then back to me. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Jordan Walker and hope that he gives me the reach alert, but that's okay.
I just queued him. I literally just queued him, Joe.
That's a waste of time because now he's not available. We're in the 21st round. Let's go. Craig Kimbrell goes to 2105. I know I got to reach there, so I know this is going to hurt me in the overall standings. That's okay. I want to know what everybody else thinks when they're watching on YouTube, too. I want to see who won the draft. Nady Eovaldi goes after Kimbrell. Joe Orrico at 2107 as we're getting to the nitty-gritty, as they like to say.
Sonny Gray, I think, is going to be my guy here. I need a little bit more pitch and depth, and I think this is a very reasonable price to be paying for him, close to $250. I'm not 100% sold, but at this point, like you said, we're in nitty gritty phase. You're not going to love any of your picks, but I'll take Sonny Gray here pretty comfortably.
Yes. And once you get outside of the 12 teamers into this, the 15 team leagues and dare I say more, it's ugly. It's very tough out there. Get your guys, basically, is what I'm going to tell you. So after Sonny Gray, Gallegos, Gregory Soto at 2109, that's a cagey little pick there because he could end up being the closer. 2110, Martin Perez, 2111. That's you, Welsh.
Hey, Bill.
Bill.
I need help. These are not great picks or decisions or players to be looking at. I hate them all, if we're being honest. I'm going to take it. There's another just good value I'm going to put on the bench. I'm going to put Ramon Laureano on the bench because he shouldn't still be out there. I have not taken a catcher, which I just realized. It's a one catcher league, though. And I'm just not going to reach at this point. But the pitching market is bad.
Well, Kybert Ruiz went another catcher, and then Jorge Mateo went after that. So you're at 2202 now. And you're right, the pitching market, look, the depth right now, Major League Baseball, period, it's shaky because we're in a weird transition year where you have a lot of young players still kind of finding their way and, less established veterans, I think, that we're used to having on this board. I think we've seen the last couple of years that changeover. So I think we're in a weird transition year. So you got to start taking some leaps of faith with some young players.
Yeah, and I let the pitching stuff get a little bit behind me, which is unfortunate. I'm going to go with the guy I really like, Justin Steele. Projected low ERA, good strikeouts. I was trying to find him. There's actually a couple of Cubs pitchers that were ranked above him in Stroman and Tyon, but I really like Justin Steele for fantasy.
I think that's just wrong. I agree with you. They should not be drafted there. We also have Will Smith, the free agent, then Eric Lauer, James Wood at 2205, and then Joe Orrico at 2206.
This isn't going to help my score because it is going to be considered a bit of a reach, but I'm going to go for Sean Manaea. I like what San Francisco does, rejuvenating pitchers who come in there, change things around. Ross Stripling is another guy that I love this year. The two of them, I think they can make some magic in a new location this season.
I love that. I think that's a great pick there, and I agree wholeheartedly. You always watch certain organizations, Tampa, San Francisco, the ones that pluck these old veteran pitchers off and they kind of retool them and all of a sudden they're useful again. It's like one of those shows where you put something out there on the for the garbage and they refinish the piece of furniture. That's what those guys are. John Birdie, Anthony Rendon, and then back to me. How about some Roenzi Contreras? Let's get some more pitching depth here. I'll take another guy here, see where he goes. I do need another outfielder, though. I don't love this because it's going, it's two choices. I could take the unspectacular Lourdes Gurriel or the spectacular for a short burst at a time twice a season, Jock Peterson. I don't know which one I want to do here. I think I need some more batting average help according to what the draft wizard is saying. So I'll go ahead and I'll take Gurriel because he'll be more useful there. In between those picks, we had Tyon, Bryson Stott at 2211, Josh Naylor 2212. He lasted a long time. Jose Urquidy starting the 23rd round. Then Yona Heim is out there, 2303, Seth Brown. I took Gurriel. Peterson goes right after. Trevor Rogers, Reclamation at 2306. Joe Orrico, 2307.
I think I'm going to go back to the position players. Even though I don't like to have position players on my bench and head-to-head, I just feel like you lose the stats and you lose hair on your head by looking at which guys you should start, especially in daily changes.
Don't tell me about that, buddy.
I think, you know what? I'm going to go with C.J. Abrams. I think nice. I like the steals upside.
Thought about him earlier.
He's not quite polished yet, but give him the course of the season. I like him as a bench pick, so I wouldn't want to be starting him in the lineup, but I'll take him where he's going.
He was my sleeper yesterday in the infield at shortstop. Again, he's going to have the job. He's got stolen base potential at the minimum. Everything else breaks right. He was a really good prospect. He was just blocked. Let's not, lose faith with this guy already. Okay, let's continue on here. Let's see. Francisco Alvarez, Tristan Casas. Then Tom Murphy goes off the board here for the Welsh. Kyle Finnegan goes off the board for the Welsh at 2311. Quantrill, Profar, And then who'd you take next at 2402?
Marcus Stroman. I just went with Marcus Stroman, another guy that can eat up some innings, hopefully give me some wins, a little bit of strikeouts, just looking for some balance. I went with Finnegan, by the way, for a third closer, guy that looks like he's going to close in Washington since we have all these pitching spots just to lock it up. I also kind of agree, like, I don't mind, in my situation, having bench guys that are position players and like Laureano and Vargas, I think are kind of like elite. So I'm comfortable with that, but I did want to have some more pitching depth that was down there. That's why I took Stroman and another closer, and I will be finishing the draft out when we come back around with a catcher, a final pick catcher.
Yes, me too. All right. So look, Ranger Suarez and Veen go next, then Justin Turner at 2405. Great steal there. 2405. He's got to play every day pretty much. 2406. Joe, what do you have?
Oh, man, I want to go with a starting pitcher. I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to take Aaron Ashby.
Okay, Aaron Ashby. Well, you never know. It could work out. It's not impossible.
Arm fatigue, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, last couple of picks, it could work out. Not my favorite, but like we said, at this point, no one's your favorite anymore.
Throwing darts, looking for upside. So, actually, unfortunately, I think it was a little too long there. Mancini ended up going to you. Then Vasquez and Ashby. So I don't know if you clicked something wrong there, or if you timed out.
You know what? I think it timed out on me.
That's all right.
It delayed for a second. It's okay. I'll take Mancini.
These things happen. And then that's back to me. Looking around, I do still need some help there. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wait for catcher all the way to the end. That's what I'm going to do. There's two guys I can stomach here. I'm going to take Oswald Peraza, another one of Welsh's guys here at shortstop. And then after that, Brett Beatty, interesting pit selection there. Kendall Graveman, Moreno, one of the two catchers I was okay with, Lang, Hunter Brown, Harrison. I'm going to go ahead and take Happy, who is the guy that our friend Frank Stample was talking up yesterday. Yeah. So I know Yasmani Grandal is what the Wizard's telling me to do, but I'm going to go ahead and listen to our friend Frank Stample said. He had a really good pitch yesterday on him, no pun intended. All right, so Lang, Brown, Harrison, I took Ohapi, Bradley at 2505, Dominguez at 2506. All right, Joe, who's your last pick?
I'm going to go Carlos Carrasco. Good pitcher on a good team. Maybe not a great pitcher anymore, but good win upside, decent strikeouts. Could give me 12, 13 wins throughout the course of the year with my last pick. So I'll take Carrasco. Pretty happy with how it worked out. I do wish I got Ashby there. Something lagged with my computer for a second right when I was going to hit draft. But I'll take Mancini. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way the draft went.
All right. Welsh, who was your last selection there? Because I can't see it.
I ended up just taking Yasmani Grandal, just taking a closer at the end to finish it off.
All right, catcher at the end. There you go. Okay, so we have a B for me. I know I took a couple prospects, and I knew Munoz was going to hit me in the projections to a couple of these guys, but I think this is kind of a B roster. It's not exactly how I wanted it to go, but I'm okay with it. Well, what was your grade here before we get to the projected standings?
I also got a B. Hey, Bill! I didn't project at the top, and I'm very disappointed. I'm really disappointed that I disappointed Bill. I let him down, and that's the biggest fault here. I did finish better than Joe, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the only thing that's actually important. But I got a B grade, a little bit higher than yours, closer to a B plus.
Yeah.
But somebody else finished higher on this panel.
They did. And he's actually a human, and he's here. So I finished at 5. Welsh finished at 4. So this time Welsh beat me. I beat him last time. But Joe, number 2. So let's talk about it. You finished with a 97. How does that feel?
It's surprising, especially considering I went maybe not off the board with a couple of picks, but I definitely didn't do what the technology was telling me to do a couple of times. So I'm a little surprised, but I am happy. I went with those kind of crappier positions early. You know, I got a second baseman, got a third baseman, got closers out of the way. I think they like what I did. I think I like what I did too. I'd be happy to carry this team into the season, which always kind of sucks when you finish a mock and you think I want to carry this team and see how they do, and then it's just all gone, which is a shame. But that's the nature of mocks.
You know what's got to suck for you? Had you just gotten Andy Ashby and you didn't time out, you probably would have been first, right?
Well, Trey Mancini is probably the thing that put him over.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking because I mean that's what we do. We always live in there. All right, let's talk about who liked your drafts too, because I want to get into this. So
that is
thumbs
my
up for me. It is my favorite part too. Chris Towers likes my draft. Dalton Del Don likes my draft. And some handsome fella named Joe Pisapia likes my draft. However, as always, Mike Mayer hates everything I do. So he is a thumbs down. Welsh, how about you? The expert opinions. who's up and down for you?
Well, the person that loved mine the most was Pierre Camus. Loved mine the most.
Me too. Pierre loved mine the most as well.
Scott Youngson likes mine. Ryan Moore, Nick Mariano, and would you believe it? Mike Mayer loved my draft.
No, our Mike Mayer?
I don't know how I did it. I broke the system. I will tell you the draft picks he loved were Devin Williams, Ryan Presley, and Seiya Suzuki. So obviously Mayer has got closers ranked pretty high. That is my big thumbs up.
Wow, that's amazing. You should screenshot this and send it to Mayer.
I know.
And you did it without taking Ryan Mountcastle, I believe, right?
I did. I wanted to take Ryan Mountcastle. Joe, I don't know
maybe
if
that was enough.
I don't know if Joe has it set, but as I told everybody, a nice little trick is if you click on a person's name on the projected settings, you can get theirs. Joe, if you don't have it, we can read off yours because I am seeing that Todd D. Clark loved yours the most. Greg Smith, Chris Towers from CBS, Travis Argo, and Scott Pianowski were your top 5. It's pretty good.
He's a tough grader.
Yours. Does it tell you who doesn't like your draft?
It does.
Oh, yeah?
It does. Yeah.
So who does
start there, Joe? All right, so on yours, Lucas Spence from Pitcher List thinks you are garbage, hates you, and wants you to disappear. He hates everything about you. Pierre Camus does not like you. Nate Miller from Fantasy Pros called you bad things. Pat Fitzmaurice, who's the nicest person in the world, you must have done something horrible because he said you're
Pat
trash.
Didn't like mine either.
And Andy Behrens. Andy Behrens did not like yours from Yahoo. So, you were 97 out of 100. That's it. Well, Joe, what were your hates? You said Andy Behrens or Pat?
No, not Andy. Fitz, Kelly Kirby, all of our internal people hate me. Yeah. But I knew that already.
Joe, do you want to know who the number one person who hated my draft was?
Yeah.
Joe Pisapia. Joe Pisapia hated my draft more than anybody. A bunch of other people like Joe Bond, Travis Argo. But Joe, you were the number one hater of my draft. No shocker.
Stay on brand, baby. Hashtag stay on brand. There you go. All right, let's get to the rosters here and talk this out. What was good? What was bad? And we're going to go through real quick. Let's start with you, Joe, and talk about your team. Sal Perez, a catcher. I know you didn't want that pick, but I think at the end of the day, you look back, it might have been the right one. Rhys Hoskins at first, Altuve at second, Pena at short, third base, Austin Riley. Then you have Chapman and Abrams in the corner and middle infield spots. Tucker, Chris Bryant, Renfroe, Nimmo, Benintendi. The pitchers, Carlos Rodon, Luis Castillo, Romano, Iglesias, Snell, Springs, Grayson Rodriguez, Jose Leclerc, Sonny Gray. The bench, Mondesi, Carrasco, Mancini, and Minaya. All the M's there you got. So how do you feel about this roster? What was good? What was bad in your opinion?
I like it overall. I mean, like I said with the Perez pick, I've been doing a lot of NFBC drafts, so I'm used to the two catchers. So in my own head, I'm pushing up catchers a little bit. So I probably could have waited and taken a Kirk or one of the Contreras. That's what I'd like to call the Contreras brothers.
Is that like the Illuminati? Is that...
I probably could have waited a little bit. But other than that, I think I did what I set out to do, which is like I mentioned, go for those more scarce positions early on. With second, third, catcher. I mean, I didn't take catcher's weird depending on your format, but generally weaker, you take it a little bit earlier on. I know you guys kind of differed from that strategy, but I'm not big on catcher once you get past about maybe the 7th or 8th name on that list. So I'm still happy, even though I wouldn't have probably taken Perez if I could go back and do it again. I like the pick overall. I like the team overall. I really do. I like that I got a few Astros there to stack together, a little ode to the DFS players out there. I like it. I like it overall. Maybe Grayson was a little bit of a reach, but pitching, as deep as it is in the middle rounds there, it kind of does thin out once you get to that close to pick 200 range.
Sure like that Jeffrey Springs pick too. It was a really good pick.
Yeah.
Really good pick.
All right, Welsh, let's talk about your team. Hey, Bill. Yasmani Grandal, catcher, Jose Abreu, Brandon Lau, Bobby Witt Jr., Rojas, Tellez, Correa. That's your infield group there. Then Alvarez, Reynolds, Seiya Suzuki, McCarthy, and Nootbaar is your outfield and utility. Then Jacob deGrom, Shane McClanahan, Devin Williams, Ryan Presley, George Kirby, Charlie Morton, Chris Sale, Andrew Heaney, Kyle Finnegan. Oh my goodness, Welsh. I hope you have multiple IR spots ready for deGrom and McClanahan, and Charlie Morton's 110 years old. Chris Sale's a walking IL spot. So, Ramon Laureano, Miguel Vargas, Stroman, and Steele is your bench. But honestly, look, I mean, this is a very boomer bust kind of a roster, in my opinion. What do you think about it, though?
Yeah, I think there's some boomer, but I have like some bounce backs. I mean, like Brendan Lau, I'm hoping to bounce back on this. I think my outfield is probably one of the best here with depth. I actually kind of like the infield of like Abreu and Witt. Rojas, Tellez, Lau, I could kind of go without. On the pitching side, one thing I probably would do if I was like a little bit more locked in, now that I'm thinking about it, like getting a Chris Sale when I already have DeGrom is not ideal. Like I would take Jeffrey Springs. I kind of wanted to see if he'd come back or where he would go. Jeffrey Springs is a guy I would take, I'd feel more comfortable about. But I don't care about the age thing. That's just not going to bug me this year. Like having Charlie Morton and having Andrew Heaney, that's just not going to bug me at all. Give me 1 to 2 high young upside pitchers. Give me a Kirby. Give me a McClanahan. Give me those guys and put them around, solid, good veterans with good closers. This is fine. It's not the best overall team construction. There's a couple things I wish would have happened different. I do love my outfield. I like some of my depth, but I'm missing a couple. I'm missing like a little of the top end that really makes the team. So I'm not surprised this is like a high B team. It's not my favorite of all time, but it'd probably be an A if I had Jeffrey Springs.
Yeah, I like last draft better for both of us, to be honest with you. I think both of but look, I like this one. This actual draft, I knew it wasn't going to get as high of a grade, but I actually like this team in a lot of ways, and I would go to war with this team over 162 games for sure, because I think it's got a nice combination of upside and some youth in there too. And this is why you go and you run these mock drafts. And I encourage people, if you haven't already, FantasyPros.com/chat, our Discord, join if you haven't, because we're going to be doing mock drafts with all of our Discord people. Welsh is going to do them. I'm going to do them. We're just going to keep plugging these away so you get to mock with us with all the people. And that's even better than mocking against the bots there. So let's get to my team here. Logan O'Hoppe, Nate Lowe, Andres Jimenez, Francisco Lindor, Devers, Miranda, Willie Adames. I like that infield, man. I'm good with that. Ronald Acuna, Randy Rosarena, not too bad. Then it kind of falls off in the outfield. Mitch Haniger, boo. Gurriel, boo. Drury, I don't mind that one. Bieber, Darvish, Javier, Lodolo, Clay Holmes, Pablo Lopez, Munoz, John Gray, Alex Cobb, and then we have Lopez, Jordan Walker, Contreras, and Peraza. Welsh, what are your thoughts on this roster?
Actually, I like a lot of what you did. Like there are names. So here's what I can look at when I look at this team. Like there are names that I just don't agree with. Like I don't like Bieber that much, and I don't like how you tailed off on the outfield. But like the overall construction, I can like envision stuff. I loved Javier. I like Darvish. And Lodolo as a 4, I think is killer. I actually think you did a good job. You tend to fall off on closers, and I think you did a killer job by not doing the top end. Munoz, I've told everybody, is one of my sleepers this year, and getting Clay Holmes is killer. I like the depth. I really like your pitching staff. Most of your hitting is really great. You said that that infield is not like high end talent, even though you have Lindor, Devers, but then it falls off to like Jimenez Low, which I love. And I love Miranda.
See, I like those guys. I like Adames. He's my.
I think I actually like your team a little bit better than mine. Sans like a few players, like I clearly wouldn't take Shane Bieber as my number 1. But I really like the team.
Why don't we do this? Let's combine our rosters together, and then we'll be first over Joe Orrico. What do you think?
Easy, done.
There you go. We're contracting the league.
All right, Joe, you lose.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate all your insight too. Go check out Joe's work too. He's a great podcast host. Welsh and I just both did his shows in the last couple of weeks over at Sports Ethos, so go check that out. Go follow him on the Twitter machine at Joe Orrico. That's 2 R's, 1 I, 1 C, 1 O, and the number 99. You need all that. Joe Orrico, 99. And of course, go check out the Draft Wizard, fantasypros.com/draft wizard. Go get your mock draft on. And I want to hear from all of you. If you watch this over here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel over on Fantasy Pros too, because that's where you can watch all the mock drafts. We're going to have live stuff here too. Leading off's going to be here before you know it in a couple months. But most importantly, who won the draft in your opinion? Go take a look at the draft board. We want to hear your comments. Was it me? Was it Welsh? Was it Joe Orrico? Was it me? See what I did? Subliminal messages. So tell me whose team you like the most. I want to hear from you. Again, drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe to Fantasy Pros on the YouTube side. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Joe and Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Hey, Bill!
Bill?
Thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our featured videos. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Fantasy Pros.